1.6, so we're moving along. Solve proportions. All right, so just put your pencils down. Just watch for a second. Let me show you what we're talking about here. So we've been dealing with like kind of equivalent rates and equivalent fractions ratios. And so here's an example. Again, you don't have to write this down. I know that 1/2 is equal to 2/4, right? I know that, right? Because if I simplify 2/4, I get 1/2. And I know that that's equal to 3/6, because 3 is half of 6. I know that that's equal to 4/8. I know all those things, right? And what you could do to make sure that they're equal, right, is let's just take these two right here, 1/2 and 2/4. Well, one thing you're allowed to do, okay, is let's say I didn't want fractions there, okay? And again, you don't have to write this down, just watch. I could say, you know what, I want to get rid of this 4 on the bottom. Right now that's 2 divided by 4, so why don't I multiply by 2 on both sides? Or sorry, multiply by 4 on both sides. Sorry, let's get rid of the 2 first. So I want to get rid of the 2. That's 1 divided by 2. Okay, and again, you don't have to write this down. So what happens is this, right? This is the same thing as 2/1. What's left is 2 cancel with 2. I'm left with 1. And on this side, I get 2 cancels 2 times 2, which is 4, over 4, which is equal to also 1. You see that? Or what I can do is I can say, okay, well, now I want to get rid of the 4 on the bottom, so I'm going to multiply by 4 on both sides. That cancels with that. I'm left with 4 is equal to 4. Now, that seems like kind of a lot of work, so I wonder if there's a faster way to check that, right? So what you'll notice is I multiplied both sides by 2, and I multiplied both sides by 4. Well, this is what I can do. Check it out. The other way I can do this is what I can call cross products, which is I'm going to multiply this together, 2 times 2, which is 4, and this together, 1 times 4, which is 4. And if they're both equal, then I know two fractions are the same, right? That's how fractions work out. Now, you might be asking, Mr. Leon, when can you cancel versus when do you cross multiply? The key is the equal sign. So if I had, for example, this 1/2 times 2/4, then I would cross cancel. I would say, oh, 2 cancels with 2, and this is equal to 1/4. That's different. When you have this equal sign right there, you can cross multiply to see if it's equal. Let me show an example of something that's not equal, okay? So let's say we're trying to do these two. But instead of 3/6, I said 3/5 is equal to 4/8. I said, those are equal, right? Well, I can check. Watch. 4 times 5, I'm going to do a different color, is 20. 3 times 8 is 24. These two fractions are not equal. See that? Now, let's try 3/6 compared to 4/8. Are these equal fractions? Okay. 6 times 4 is 24. 3 times 8 is 24. So I know those two are equal. That's not, that is not, right? It's kind of a cool little trick here. Understanding that cross products should be equal. And if they're equal, then you have equivalent fractions, okay? So I know it's a little bit confusing, but you'll see what we're doing here in a second. Okay, so let's start with R's, all right? Solving proportions. Write this down. Letter A, all right? So we're going to take that idea, right, that when you have cross products, it should be equal, and we're going to apply it to what happens when we're missing something, right? So let's do this example, okay? So I've got x/4 is equal to 9/10, okay? Write this down. x/4 is equal to 9/10. Now, again, what we showed just now is like, look, if the fractions are equivalent, then when I do that cross multiply, and I call it, sometimes people like call it like the butterfly thing because it looks like a little butterfly, okay? It should be equal. So let's try it, all right? And x is our missing number. you're always going to be missing something, right? In a math problem, generally you're missing something. You're missing the answer. You're missing a part of the answer. You're missing something that makes the answer work, right? So go ahead and do this one with me. I like to put the variable on the left side, so I'm going to do this one first. X times 10 is equal to 10x, right? We always put the number in front of the variable. And that should equal 4 times 9, which is 36. Okay, so now we have to get into some solving equation stuff, which I know you did in 6th grade, and I think probably a little bit in 5th grade as well. All right, this right here is 10 times x. So in order to undo, get rid of the 10, I want x by itself, right? I need to do the opposite, which is divide by 10. And what I do on one side, I have to do on the other. So what happens is when you have a 10 here and you divide by 10, that cancels out, and all you're left with is x. And 36 divided by 10, you can do that in your calculator, or some of you guys can probably do it in their head, is simply 3.6. Okay. Pretty easy, right? Let's try one together here.
Mr. Leon?
Mm-hmm.
So the answer is x equal 3.6?
That's correct. The correct answer is x equals 3.6. Let's do another one. We'll do another one. We'll do a few more together. Okay, how about this? And it's good to have a calculator handy, okay? I'll help you out. All right, here we go. 2 over 34 is equal to 5 over y. If you think you understand how to do it, you can go ahead. If not, I'm going to start working on it, but I'll give you guys a little bit of time. I'll give you guys like a head start. All right, so again, I like to do the variable first. So I'm going to say 2 times y, which is 2y, is equal to, see, equal stays same place, 34 times 5. Now, I don't know off the top of my head, so I'm going to use a calculator. I'm going to put 34 times 5 in my calculator. I get 170. All right. And then the last step is to divide. Divide by 2. I can also write division like this. So either with the division sign or like a fraction bar. And my final answer then is, this cancels out, so that leaves me with y is equal to, and whatever 170 divided by 2 is in your calculator, which is 85. Yeah? Give me a thumbs up if that's what you got. Thumbs up? Is that what you got? Yeah? All right, good. Okay, let me give you guys one more. All right, 7 over 3 is equal to n over 21. Go ahead and solve for n, please. So let me write these steps here. So this was divided by 2. All right, I want you guys put in the chat what answer you got. Let's see what you did. All right, Nee gave an answer. I got Jacob got me an answer. Jenny's got me an answer. Jaden's got me an answer. Benjamin gave me an answer. Okay. Good, good, good. I'm seeing a lot of 49s. 49s is what I've gotten so far. Seems good. Cameron's got me 49. All right, sounds good. All right. Yeah, looks good. Awesome. Okay. Good, good. Wilson, good. Jordan, Kelly, good. Okay, let's take a look. All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this one fast. Okay. 3n, okay, is equal to 7 times 21, which is 147. Divide by 3, divide by 3, and I get n is equal to 49. Yeah, n equals 49. Very good. Now, there was actually another way you could have done this problem, and some people might see this shortcut. As you get better at it, you might see the patterns. So you don't have to write this down, but just watch. The other way you could have saw this is this. If you notice, to get from 3 to 21, you just need to multiply by 7, right? So to get from 7 to n, you'll just also have to multiply by 7. And 7 times 7 is 49. So it should all work. Basically, I'm showing you everything should kind of work together, right? Fractions, if they're equivalent, then a lot of things happen. You can cross multiply and they'll be equal. You can do this and it'll be equal. This won't work every time because sometimes numbers aren't so nice, but that's what's going on there. Okay? Pretty simple, yeah? Okay. Really quick, I want you, we have a little time here. Let's go ahead and go into what a word problem looks like. There are a few word problems from the homework. All right, so all right, so here's a word problem for you guys, okay? Mr. Leong, that's me, can grade 10 pages in 2 minutes. How many can he grade in 33 minutes? Sorry, give me a second, copy that down. All right. So let's say that I'm like, okay, I'm and this is something that happens, and so this is something that I do, and this is something that you guys do in some way or form, right? So let's say, for example, again, I know how fast I can do it. I can grade 10-year quizzes in 2 minutes, and I have 33 minutes left. I have 33 minutes until I have to leave and I have to go somewhere, okay? And so I'm trying to figure out, okay, how many pages can I get done? Can I get everyone's done in before I leave, right? Or do I have to use, or do I have to take extra time some other time of the day? So I'm like in a rush. I'm like, okay, I can do. It only takes me this long to do this much, but can I apply it to more time? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. Okay, so on a problem like this, sorry, I'll give you guys a little more time to write this down. All right. Okay. So on a problem like this, there's 2 different ways we can solve it. There's the way we did the unit rate and the proportion way. And I kind of like the proportion way, but let's take a look. Okay, so let's think of it this way. I know that it takes me 10 pages to do 2 minutes. So I'm going to put that as a ratio. Whenever I have those two things combined, or I'm going to say, okay, 10 pages in 2 minutes, right? So the question is, how many can I grade in 33 minutes? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a proportion. I'm going to make a proportion. But I don't know what the other fraction is yet. And this is the tricky part. If you can figure out how to set up these proportions, this entire year is going to be a lot easier, okay? So what I have to look at is this. 33 minutes. I have an option. I can either put 33 minutes at the top or I could put it at the bottom. Well, here's how you know where it goes. Match the units. Minutes and minutes. So I know that minutes is on the bottom here. So that means minutes is going to be on the bottom here. You see that? I'm matching units, minutes with minutes. And so what I'm missing is pages up here. I don't know how many pages I can do. So I'm going to put an X right there. Whatever you don't know, you replace it with a variable.
Can you put the letter P?
Yes, great question. Great question. You could put the letter P if you want. You could put the letter Y. You can put any letter. The only letters I recommend you don't use are O, because it looks too much like a 0. S looks too much like a 5. T looks too much like a plus sign. Z looks too much like a 2. Lowercase l looks like a 1. I isn't a good one to use either. But yes, you can use P. You can use anything else. Okay, good question. Okay, so now go ahead and solve it, right? Go ahead and solve it just like you did before, right? 2x is equal to 330 divided by 2, divided by 2. X is equal to 165, and it is pages. You see how I did that? Right? I just set up the proportion. If you can set it up, you can solve it. The solving part's easy. The setting up part is the hard part. Now, there is another way you could have done this problem, which is what we learned before, which is unit rate. So the other way you could have done this is the unit rate way. You can say, you know what? Let me just find out how many pages I can do in 1 minute and then multiply it, right? I could say, all right, well, if I can do 10 pages in 2 minutes, that's equal to 5 pages in 1 minute, right? And if I'm doing 5 pages in 1 minute, how many can I do in 33? Well, all I have to do then is multiply. So I can say, okay, 5 times 33, which will give me that 165. Either way works, but I think you're going to find the proportion way is going to be a little bit easier for you to understand. And the proportion way is going to help you out a lot. And what you notice, the reason why these both work is because I'm dividing by 2 here and then multiplying by 5. On this one, I'm multiplying by 5 and then dividing by 2. So it's the same. Okay. So let's go back. Let's reflect a little bit, right? Solving the proportions is easy. There's 2 steps: cross multiply and then divide. That's all you're going to be doing: cross multiply and divide. So that's half your homework. And then there are a few word problems out there where you have to set up the proportion and then cross multiply and divide. And again, the key to setting up a proportion is follow the units. Okay? If minutes is on bottom, let's do this. Okay? If minutes is on bottom, then minutes is on bottom. Right? If pages is on top, then pages is on top. If you keep that in order, there's going to be no problem at all.